There's something in the news today saying 7 out of 10 women, moms, and wives, wake up on Christmas Day to find their stocking empty, or they have to do it themselves. Their husband never fills their stocking. And somehow Santa just focuses on the kids.
That was not in response to that. I remember last year I wrote a letter. So this year, there might be something in addition to a letter.
Oh, well, you know how much I love a letter.
Yeah.
There's something in the news today also talking about how, like, the vast majority of Americans want to change Christmas traditions. They're kind of over having a turkey and doing what we all do, which is like overbuy or get stressed out by money, whatever, one of those problems. And that one of the things people would prefer is letters, like handwritten notes to gifts. It's on the top 10 list of things that people might prefer instead of a gift. I mean, I feel like that was written for me.
Yeah, I agree with that, I think. And you were always that way. You're fine with flowers, but flowers in the absence of a card or something like that is just sort of too perfunctory. And I agree that the turkey thing, that could go. I'm not that big on the turkey. Half of it's always overcooked and dry, and you're like, oh my God, to get this white meat down, you got to cover it with gravy. Like a burger would be fine.
Yeah.
You eat whatever you want on Christmas.
I don't know. I think it has gotten too commercialized, and then you feel all stressed out about getting the right gifts. And then by the time you're done, you kind of feel the way you feel when you've overeaten at a big holiday meal. You know, like, I've supported American capitalism and ideally some small businesses, and I think people around me will be happy, but this feels excessive, right? Yeah. Like it just always, no matter how big or small you go, it feels kind of just excessive.
It's gone a little Hallmarky, but I do love certain movies. Like there is something about a fire and a tree and the smell of pine needles and some of those old movies, like the really old time movies. That is awesome too, especially in the run up. You got to start those early in December.
So we got to talk about that. So far, our family started right after Thanksgiving with our holiday shows that we watch. We watched Rudolph, which led to a segment on the show talking about what a bully Santa is. And he is a bully in that movie. There's something, Santa's gone mean in the Rudolph movie. Yeah. And then we watched Santa Claus is Coming to Town. You're really more of a Year Without a Santa Claus guy.
That's true.
Right?
Yes.
The heat miser. Like, what is it about that?
It's memory. Wow, you're really, this is foreshadowing for later in the show. But
good tip.
Yeah.
We're going to do the quiz, and I don't know a lot of the answers. They just gave me the questions, and I was like, actually, this is going to be hard, but keep going.
I love that when it just brings back those memories of lying on the floor. Where I grew up, we had a fireplace. It was a small little family room, and there wasn't enough seating for everybody, so a lot of times we just had throw pillows on the floor. We'd all lie on the floor like cats.
Beanbags, the Brunt beanbags.
We'd watch these old movies by the fireplace, and the tree especially made it crowded. We're all sort of barely fitting in there. But that heat miser, freeze miser, Year Without a Santa Claus movie, I just loved the song as a little kid, and it's just always stayed with me. And even though it's really for the little kids, it brings me right back to those moments of, early, sort of mid-late 70s of, lying on the floor by a fire in the Christmas tree.
Well, it's funny because I did a segment with the guys from the Ruthless program.
Love those guys.
On best Christmas movie, our favorite Christmas movie. And they said things like Christmas Story was one of them. Smug went with Godfather, which is not. And Duncan picked Four Christmases, which I had never seen, and you had never seen. You were convinced we had seen it, and I was confusing it with another one, Fred Claus. I was confusing. Or
with.
The Holiday, which you hated.
That was terrible.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that was torture.
That was when John said.
John Sharp was like, wonder what those lucky saps down in Guantanamo are doing. John is this Australian guy.
After we walked out of that movie together.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we watched Four Christmases with Sissy Spacek, Vince Vaughn, and Reese Witherspoon, and it was cute. I liked it.
Yeah,
yeah,
but and relatable in some ways.
What do you mean?
Just going back to all the different families and all the dysfunctions, like the special dysfunctions that can happen.
I hope they're not watching.
Well,
this.
Like fun, beautiful dysfunctions, not as dysfunctional as that. It was hyperbolic.
Well, one of the people who makes a special guest star appearance in that movie is an EP of it, and it's Ralphie from A Christmas Story.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Which was I think Holmes's favorite movie, if I'm not mistaken. Anyway, or Ashbrook. Anyway, I love it. Yeah, and Holmes was A Christmas Vacation. So this led to a whole thing on the show about favorite Christmas movies and what gets you in the mood. And our viewers wrote in. I asked them what their favorite movies were, and wrote in by droves with their various submissions. And I mentioned how we always watch Christmas in Connecticut, and I still love Christmas in Connecticut so much. Barbara Stanwyck and Stanley Greenstreet, who is he plays Alexander Yardley.
Okay, yeah.
Anyway, and somebody wrote in, actually multiple people wrote in, if you like those old time black and white movies, and we don't love all of them, but like some of them are
There's
great.
something so atmospheric about it. It just takes you back and makes you feel away.
That you should try Shop Around the Corner. So thank you to the audience who suggested that, because we watched it early in the morning yesterday and today, or 2 days this week. We woke up super early and we had it on, and it was so cute.
Yeah, that was nice. And I did not make the connection that you later told me about You Got Mail. It was the inspiration for that movie. But it had it was a Jimmy Stewart movie that I'd never seen, and there's something so charming about Jimmy Stewart on the screen.
Yes.
It was awesome.
All right, we have a clip for those of you who have never seen it. Take a look.
Reading Tolstoy's Anna Karenina.
Yes, do you mind?
No. I just didn't expect to meet you in a cafe with Tolstoy, that's all. Quite a surprise. I didn't know you cared for high literature.
There are many things you don't know about me, Mr. Kralik.
Uh-huh. Have you read Crime and Punishment by Dostoevsky?
No, I haven't.
I have. There are many things you don't know about me, Miss Novak. As a matter of fact, there might be a lot we don't know about each other. You know, people seldom go to the trouble of scratching the surface of things to find the inner truth.
Well, I really wouldn't care to scratch your surface, Mr. Kralik, because I know exactly what I'd find. Instead of a heart, a handbag. Instead of a soul, a suitcase. And instead of an intellect, a cigarette lighter, which doesn't work.
Well, that's very nicely put.
So the whole premise is that they work together and they don't like each other, or do they? Because each has a secret pen pal with whom they're having somewhat of a romantic blossoming. And well, if you've seen You've Got Mail, you know how it ends. But you said when we were watching it, there's something really soothing about Jimmy Stewart's voice, like about Jimmy Stewart in general.
Yeah, and it's distinctive. His voice is unlike any other voice in the movies. You immediately get it. You know, some people have a fairly, like Morgan Freeman's got an amazing voice, and you pretty much know his as well. But Jimmy Stewart has one of those. You know exactly who it is, and it sort of turns you into that place immediately.
What's amazing is that movie was made in 1940. 1940.
Yeah.
Think about that. So that's 85 years ago, almost 85. That's incredible. And we were talking, so Doug, we turn it on and it's like, it is charming. So we have a little Christmas tree in our bedroom this time of year, which I love and highly recommend. And in the morning we turn on the lights and we make a coffee. We have a little coffee maker in the room and we sit there in our bed and we have coffee and we chat. And it's actually many days the only time we have to really catch up before everything goes nuts. And this time of year, sometimes we'll put on like a cute movie. I remember last year we watched Serendipity.
Oh, that's right. That was a good one.
That's a great one. Notwithstanding that John Cusack is a prick, but you can suspend your disbelief. And this year, so we were watching that. And you said to me, as like the setting's beautiful. We've got a little Christmas tree going. We've got our coffee, the black and white film. And you go, everyone in this movie is dead. Even the babies. Oh my God.
When that fact dawns on you, it's like our mothers were born in this era, you know, and when that dawns on you, like how old it is, you know, how long cinema has been a thing in America. You know, go back to the early days, they're all dead. They're all gone.
Sweet thought, honey.
Yeah, well, you know.
So the babies might still be alive. But the thing that always strikes me is that you knew my Nana very well, who died at 101, right before Trump was elected. It was 16, October of 16. But she was born in 1915. And I look at that, I'm like, Nana was 25. There's someone we've known in our lifetime very, very well was alive and vibrant when this black and white 1940 film was made. It's weird to think about.
It's totally crazy, which reminds me, the Sikorsky helicopter. Anyone who's looked at military helicopters, I just met this guy, Igor Sikorsky Jr. He had read the Diesel book and he emailed me and he said, hey, I've got all these stories about my dad. He was a contemporary of Rudolf Diesel. And, you know, let's meet. So I went to the New England Air Museum, and there's a whole Sikorsky wing there. We walked around and got this Igor Sikorsky Jr. walks in there and he's like a rock star. Everybody was, you know, running out to meet him.
And how old is he?
He's 95. And he looks at this photo and he shows me, it's of Tsar Nicholas II, a young Tsar, years before World War I even started. And Tsar Nicholas II is talking to some other man in the photo. And my new pal, Igor, points at the man in the photo and goes, there's Dad.
Oh, my.
And I'm like, Oh my God. He has some personal connection to so much history going back. And he's like, you really need to meet my brother, Sergey. He's a treasure trove of information about aviation and the interwar period and the pre-war period. I'm like, oh, that sounds great. And he goes, he turns 100 in a couple of weeks. He's flying in for the party. I'm like, oh my God, what are these Sikorskys eating?
Right.
Yeah.
We need to find out. For those of us who have been holding our breath for the past several months, we can finally exhale in the wake of this presidential election, right? Work can finally be done on the major issues that this country's facing, and one of the most significant is our national debt. Look, the fact is our nation's broke, and that debt is a house of cards that cannot be quickly dismantled by anyone. So the strategy remains the same when it comes to your investments. You might want to diversify your savings. Virtually all the experts say that's a good idea. This is why I want to tell you about Birch Gold. So many things are out of our control and out of our president's control that it really can be important to have a safe haven for your savings. Birch Gold Group can help you if you would like to convert all or part of an IRA or 401k into an IRA in physical gold, which is like a hedging of the bets. And the best news is it does not cost you 1 cent out of pocket. You just text MK to 989898 and you get your free info kit. And plus right now you will receive a free 1 ounce silver eagle for every $5,000 purchased Silver Eagle coin. Protect your savings with Birch Gold. Text MK to 989898 and claim your eligibility for free silver today. Thanks so much for watching. If you like what you just saw, hit the subscribe button for more clips and full episodes.